Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah, HaKodash. Double honor to the elders and bishops of Great Millstone who teach and rule well. Salutations to the prophets and beloved brothers who continue to exhort the sheep in these final moments. The title of this epistle is going to be entitled Heaven, the Kingdom to Come. So, as the world continues to slightly wake up out of these false teachings and doctrines imposed upon them through Christianity, the Islamic faith, and all these other sects of religion, people are going to be utterly confounded and confused when it comes to gaining understanding. So, as we have the power and authority to peel off the layers of and the veils that have been upon the eyes of those that may have the heart to seek truth. We'll try to touch on some general topics to bring some closure, understanding, and comfort to those that may need it. In particularly, when it comes to this theatrical dream state idea of what heaven and hell is. So the first verse I'll bring out is found in Romans chapter 14 and verse 17. It says, For the kingdom of Yahweh is not meat and drink, but righteousness and peace and joy in the Ruach HaKodash. What this is saying here is that the kingdom to come is not just the carnal, physical reality of the experience of living in a holy kingdom, but it is through the joy of having the Ruach HaKodash dwelling within you, being established in righteousness. It's a spiritual reformation, a second wind, if you will, on a lighter understanding of that, coming from a very oppressed and dwindling life in this very oppressive nature in this country, and subject to payments and hard bondage under the rulership of these other nations, and particularly Esau, Edom, the European nations. We find ourselves overworked, burdened with many debts. We have all these dreams to fulfill, but never can come to a closure in fulfilling them because the grasp for prosperity is like swimming in deep waters. You'll never be able to reach those things, not without putting yourself in a major debt situation and working 55 jobs. But the kingdom to come is a kingdom that dwelleth within righteousness. And this is going to happen in the flesh. Just making sure the dog stays in his yard. So the kingdom to come is not one where this body passes off, you're returned to the grave, and then your spirit flutters on and now bouncing on clouds. And hell is not a physical place where if you do wickedly, you now are trapped in Sheol and burning in hell, chained to a rock, crying out for some cold lemonade. No, these are experiences that one might experience in the flesh here on earth. So there are those that live on the high life of society and never have to experience what true hard work is and what oppression and a bondage system feels like, but they are the ones implementing that hell over you, being fed all manner of abomination, polluting the society through mainstream media, music, movies, these church facilities. They just utterly fill people's heads up with all kind of abominable, non-godly-like understanding. And this concept here, heaven, the kingdom come, is going to happen in the flesh, in the carnal. You know, it's a spiritual reformation once the children of Israel are back in rulership and ruling in authority over all nations in righteousness, because um, this current society and this current kingdom is coming to a close, and is going to violently have its chapter closed out on itself. So again, Romans chapter 14 and verse 17, it says, "For the kingdom of Yahweh is not meat and drink, but righteousness and peace and joy in the Ruach HaKodesh." You won't have to, those of the elect, the righteous that keep the commands of the Most High Yahweh, and seek out truth in these last final moments. This is in reference to what you will receive as an inheritance and full authority over all nations, ruling in righteousness. So 2 Peter, we'll go in and grab a 2 Peter. 2 Peter chapter 3 and verse 13. It says, "Nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for new heavens and a new earth, wherein dwelleth righteousness." So experiencing life set up in authority of righteousness is going to bring life everlasting. Everything will be set back in its perfect order, and the natural order of things, a well-balanced, healthy lifestyle for all who may be living on the earth at that time. And it will be established under the rule of the house of David, Yahweh Shai, and the hopeful elect, the 144,000 judges, priests, and princes. Right? So the kingdom to come is actually going to be here on earth. It's not going to be in some fanciful, made up, false reality in which you see on TV, where little babies with harps and little wings fluttering here and there. Right? Next verse we will grab is found in Hebrews chapter 11. Chapter 11 and verse, excuse me, 11 and 16. It says, Hebrews chapter 11, verse 16. It says, "But now they desire a better country, that is, a heavenly, wherefore Yahweh is not ashamed to be called their power, and he hath prepared for them a city." So we know, some of us know through prophecy, that this current nation is going to be torched, obliterated, dismantled, and desolated upon the release of nuclear war and said nuclear arms hitting the land, because of all the abominations that are done therein, in this nation, in this country in particularly, and abroad as well, for those who have partaken in this whorish system, where there is all kinds of infidelity, unfaithful marriages, covetousness, liars, swindlers, you name it. And this country houses every foul beast and foul bird. So the righteous are desiring a country, a new heaven, a new earth, one in which dwelleth righteousness, one where we uphold the laws and the commands of our Father, Abanawa Yahweh, because there is death here. The curse of death is just is cast over the earth, and everybody is essentially guilty of partaking of that system. And we are called to come out of this current system and put on righteousness and practice these righteous rehearsals, to be found worthy in the days of the separation from the goats. Next verse, we'll go into Zechariah. That's Zephaniah. Zechariah, verse 8 and 5. 8 and 5. It says, I'll jump up one. Zechariah Yeah, I'll start at verse 4. Zechariah chapter 8, verse 4. It says, Thus saith Yahweh of hosts, there shall yet old men and old women dwell in the streets of Jerusalem, and every man and his staff in his hand for very age. And the streets of the city shall be full of boys and girls playing in the streets thereof. This is not talking about, again, being some specter and Casper the Ghost now inhabiting heaven, but this is happening here on earth. Those that are found worthy and are found blameless and perfect in righteousness, keeping the law, statutes, and commandments to the best of their ability, and seeking true repentance with a broken and contrite spirit. Those that have experienced hell on earth will be hopeful citizens of the kingdom to come, and one which dwelleth in righteousness, because this society, this current system, the mind frame of all those individuals that don't really care for righteousness but love sin upon sin, and having that iniquity within them to sustain this current system and being partakers of it and wanted to prolong, are going to go down with the ship, if you will. Right? So, Wisdom of Solomon chapter 6 verse Wisdom of Solomon chapter 6 verse 20, that's found in your Apocrypha. Wisdom of Solomon chapter 6 verse 20. Therefore the desire of wisdom bringeth to a kingdom. The desire of wisdom, seeking out the wisdom of old, putting on the commands, putting on the righteous acts, that's partially bringing you into the kingdom to come, because you are preparing to behave and uphold the laws in this manner, so you can go into the new country that keeps the law, statutes, and commandments. Then ultimately, out of Zion, the entire earth will have to grab hold of the new reformation, if you will, the new change from this old system, this old spiritual wicked system is detached from it. So the wisdom that we are putting on brings us into the kingdom to come. We have to spiritually prepare and have a heart posture that should suggest that we no longer want to be affiliated and be seen as these wicked Babylonians. We don't want to act like them, think like them. Our spirit should not be aligned with the people of this world. We don't care to partake in your voting system. We don't care what political party is winning this and who's going to do all that. No, we are hastening the days and expecting a new kingdom to come according to prophecy, as this one closes violently. Right? That's the kingdom that we are expecting and we want to be partakers of. Romans chapter 12. Romans chapter 12. So that idea of kingdom clouds and a castle in the sky, that is a fallacy in the scriptures, right? Romans chapter 12 and verse 2. And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is good and acceptable and perfect will of Yahweh. So we have to have that mental reformation, knowing that we are expecting the kingdom to come. This is our hope, and our faith is an expectant for the blessings to now cover us, so we can experience heaven on earth and not hell on earth. We've been receiving hell for a very long time, and it is now prophetically those chains and shackles, the bondage that we have been subject to, that we may receive our liberty and freedom to practice worshiping our true power, Yahweh, and we can do that in in a clean and holy and Kodash environment, a righteous environment. Not this one here. This one is truly defiled. There's many gods here, but none of them will be able to save them. Nothing will be able to save them. So the kingdom to come. We are expecting the kingdom to come. Next verse, we will go into the book of St. John, the mighty book of St. John. Oh, that's Luke. John chapter 3. John chapter 3. John chapter 3 and verse 12. Right. So, John chapter 3 verse 12. If I have told you earthly things and you believe them not, how shall you believe if I tell you heavenly things? So the non-believer, they will not pick up what I'm putting down. They will discredit it. Some of it they might absorb and add to what is being said and build up their understanding. But there's many that believe that a hell is a real place. I think that's a Roman Catholic idea where, you know, your spirit is taken down by a bunch of dark demons, and again, you are put in chains and shackles, and I don't know, you're surrounded by fire pits in the Inferno, Dante's Inferno, the seventh hell or whatever, and a bunch of little red demons are sticking you in the ankle with a pitchfork, and crazy. So if I have told you earthly things and you believe them not, how shall you believe if I tell you heavenly things? So this is for those who have an earnest desire to continue to learn sound doctrine and to separate the truth from the lies, especially in these perilous and serious moments here on earth where all hell is breaking out and everybody and their dog is going to be losing their wits because of all the things that they have not spiritually prepared for, and those that are hopefully awaiting for the arrival of the second coming of Hamashiach Yahushai and expecting for the new kingdom to be right behind it, and one where the elect, the righteous, will be preserved for the said perils and put into that beautiful kingdom to come. Next verse is 2nd Esdras chapter 8, and I'll read verse 1 and 3. Maybe I'll add 2. So 2nd Esdras chapter 8, starting at verse 1, it says, and he answered me, saying, the Most High hath made this world for many, but the world to come for a few. Right, so through scriptures we see that he's only going to preserve just a portion, a remnant of righteous individuals that have made herself ready, the bride, to be collected as his righteous bride, and then everyone else, the sinners that have not taken heed to what we were saying, is going to be utterly destroyed, annihilated, whatever word you want to use, right? So the remnant will be preserved for that time. Verse 2 of 2nd Esdras, chapter 8, it says, I will tell you a similitude, Esdras, as when thou askest the earth, it shall say unto thee, that it giveth much mold whereof earthen vessels are made, but little dust that gold cometh of. Even so is the course of this present world. So he says there are many vessels on earth that are made of the molds. There's many vessels that are made, but very few of those vessels that are made from the earth, like clay pots, if you will, contain dust of gold, which is purity in them. The ones that are not found with the dust, the remnants of gold within them, are now discarded and destroyed. He calls them the vessels of dishonor, right? Vessels of dishonor. And the vessels that are going to be preserved are the ones that are found with that gold element in them, which is the understanding of the scriptures and keeping his ways to the best of your ability, and having that hopeful mindset of the kingdom to come, and not wanting this one to continue on and prosper in some manner, which is outside of his will. We read what his will is, right? Verse 3 of 2nd Ezra chapter 8, it says, there be many created, but few shall be saved. Very few shall be saved. So the world to come is only for a few. And starting with that remnant at the very top is the elect house of Israel, from the 12 tribes of Israel, the hopeful elect, the 1/3, starting with the men of the top, the 144,000 judges that will reign alongside with Hamashiach Yahushai. Next verse is found in Romans chapter 9. Romans chapter 9. Okay, there you are. Romans chapter 9, verses 27. It says, Isaiah also crieth concerning Israel, though the number of the children of Israel be as the sand of the sea, a remnant shall be saved. So a good portion of so-called Israelites that are in this land, predominantly the United States, where the 12 tribes are still held captive, only a third is going to be reserved. 2/3 will not make it because of their unbelief, because they have chosen other gods and other things that will not bring them salvation, and they disregard the word of the prophets. They disregard the true gospel and the understanding, and they heap up to them all kinds of teachers having itching ears that will not bring them into a deeper understanding and a personal relationship with our power, Yahweh. Yahweh Shai. Final and last verse I'll grab is found in Proverbs chapter 14. Proverbs chapter 14 and 34. I said 34. Yeah. Righteousness exalteth a nation, but sin is a reproach to any people. Right. So righteousness exalteth a nation. So the nation, the kingdom to come, heaven, here on earth, righteousness will be what's exalted in the earth. Not this current system. None of it is going to survive. None of it is going to be brought into the kingdom to come. Those that continue to live in this particular manner, in this fashion, eating all kind of abominable things, where in scriptures it tells us not to, this is not permitted in the kingdom to come. Earth will be going through a healing process because of all the catastrophe, all the things that are said to happen, all the wars, and all the contaminants and all the debris and all that stuff from said war is going to take Earth some time to heal. And he said he's coming with healing in his wings for his elect, those that he's going to reserve from the said perils in the kingdom to come. So with that all being said, I pray that this was edifying and bringing some understanding and the difference between what heaven and hell actually means and what is represented in the scriptures. And it's not some far off reality where you get to experience heaven after you die from this flesh, but it's actually an experience, a spiritual reformation, a breath of fresh air, and a new life experience outside underneath of bondage, because that's what the curses entail, right? those that do not keep his ways, you are now subject to the curses and everything that comes with it. But if you keep his ways and uphold righteousness and be a light unto others around you so they may increase in righteousness, this is what the kingdom of heaven is going to prosper in. Righteousness is going to abound and be very, very much sustainable for life. So with that being said, I pray this was edifying. Until the next time, shalom.